Okay, I just recorded a whole 9-minute video on TikTok, and it was like that yesterday for my first day of school. But I made a video of my second day in chemistry, and I'm 5 days post-op. And I was studying, and I took a little study break, but I was wondering, so I'm seasoned going back to college or whatever. And so I know I'm at a disadvantage, just a teeny tiny bit, not a lot. And so I bought some branded shoes, just something to say, calms the mind and improves performance. It's got some good healthy stuff in here, magnesium, omega-3 or whatever. And then I took it with this, something my daughter bought like a joke. And I was like, no worries, because it also says that it improves memory, focus, and a healthy brain. Some kind of little mushroom thing from the $1.25 store. Don't go buying them because I don't know if they work, and I don't want y'all to be mad at me if they don't work, because shit, chances are none of this is working. But I do know you can't just take it one day and feel like, boom, I'm gonna remember all this. I do know that. I do know that ain't gonna work. So don't think it's gonna work like that. But it made me remember something that I was sitting here just randomly trying to see, is this a perimenopause thing, or is this just a black thing, or is this just a woman thing, or is this a male thing? They said that we have the tendency to look our own children in the face and call them the wrong name. Now, I am guilty of that, okay? And I know that it happened to me, okay? I have two girl cousins. They're older than me. I'm the baby. And our nickname is Dinky, Pinky, and Binky. And nobody knows how we got the nickname. Nobody won't fess up to it, right? And we just come to the conclusion that somebody was playing Patman or Miss Patman. They seen the name of the ghost, and they was like, go with it. However, I'm named after my godmom, Big Dinky, okay? Big Dinky, Little Dinky. It's heavy. And when we were growing up, and this was years ago, core memory. And I think I'm being a little triggered by it, but oh well. Whoever would see us would not know which one of us we were, but they knew who we were, so they would just be like, Binky, Binky, Dinky, Binky, what, Dinky, what? And although we knew, they knew who we were, but the calculation wasn't computing good enough for them to recognize. But they just knew it was one of us, right? And so I'm considering, I'm thinking that whoever gave us the nicknames did it so it would seem so easy. It's easy to get that confused. It sounds the same. However, we all three spell ours all three different ways. So it's really not the same name. And we're not the same people. Neither one of us look alike. Our moms are sisters. And they won't be mistaken for me. I won't be for them. Nobody has gotten us confused like a stranger hasn't. People who continuously get our names wrong, they might get confused. But so we would be at an event or whatever when my grandma was alive, and the first person that peeked their head in the door, it was Binky, Pinky, Dinky, you come here. You know what I'm saying? Like, you the one I wanted. And so whoever got caught would be responsible for doing whatever they needed us to do, just waited for us to come in. And it got to a point, where we got so good at figuring out, if we poke our head in, that's the one. And they didn't do the boys like that. The boys didn't get confused. I don't remember them confusing the boys. But I do know that my mama calls me by my aunt's name 85% of the time. And it's so bad that one of my mom's friends, which we're like, if you know one sister, you know them all. So my mama's friend also calls me my aunt's name. How? But I answer to it, because I know I know that they know that I know they mean me, even if they don't say my name. And I have done the same thing. I can look at the middle kid and call her by the little kid's name, but you know that I know that we both know I met you. Come on. You know what I'm saying? And if I didn't want you, then you should know which one of y'all I want. So this is also something that reminds me. My aunt, she tells a story, and I can remember it vividly too. When I was like 1 or 2 years old, and I was still in diapers, and she was babysitting, and she said your diaper was full. Now, why they let it get full, I don't know. She said your diaper would be full, and I'd be like, come on, let me change your diaper. And she said I wouldn't budge. And then she would say, come on, let me change your diaper. And I still wouldn't move. And she would say, look, girl, come here. And not only did I not move, like she should have might as well had to say freeze, because she said she would have to call me like 3 or 4 times before she would just have to just grab me and pull me to her so she can change my diaper. And she, like, it's the joke now, you know what I'm saying? And it was, to me, it's always been funny, because I've never had that problem with any other aunt, just her. But I do know that aunt has babysat us all. She's the youngest aunt. So in her defense, she calls everybody little girl. She don't care about your names. Just little girl, come here. Because even her older sisters, she would be like, little girl, come here. Or to her mom, she'd be like, little girl, like that was her thing. I hated it. I absolutely hated it. So I was the one that would make her, if you don't remember nobody else's name, you call everybody in the world, little girl, my name, you gonna remember. And I promise you, we can sit up. I went to visit her. She was in the hospital. I went to visit her in the hospital, and we laughed about that so loud, so much so that she was like, I needed this. This is what I needed. But she felt like she was laughing so loud that she was interrupting the whole hospital. I was like, I'm not finna keep sitting here entertaining you for free. I got to play it in the car. But not only that, when I got ready to get up and leave at the hospital on lockdown, I had to come back to the room. I said, it figures on the day that okay. So, back to the cousins. So me and my cousins, we would get so good at not being the first one. Like, it would have to be a really, 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 really good reason for us to pop in that door, because back then it was like, don't run in and out. You come in, you got to stay in. And me and my cousin Binky, I don't know how my other cousin Pinky, how she didn't end up doing it, but every time my uncle would come to an event, it didn't matter what it was, he wanted his plate to go. He didn't say, he just wanted his plate to go. And so it had got to the point where he would be like, hey, Binky. And I look at him like, no, I'm Zinky. So we telling you now who we are so you can get it right. And even he would look at Binky and be like, Pinky, come here. And she'd be like, no, I'm not Pinky, I'm Binky. And so, we had got to the point where, and Binky's like 7 years older than me, I believe. But we had gotten to the point where we was like, hey, man, I fixed this plate the last time. It's your turn. I'm fixing what he need to ask one of his sisters or somebody, okay? I'm not the plate fixer of the uncle that just pops in and out. That's not my job. You know what I'm saying? My mama back then, so we were younger then, but we were more mature, than these kids. My mama didn't even fix my plate. I'm gonna fix my own plate, because she don't even know what I like to eat. So I gotta ask him, you want some of this, and you want some of this, you want some of that? That's not my man. And I know they say you fix your man plate, but he not my man. And it's crazy because we family stuff and go ahead and see. So my uncle was sick, and they had to give him some assisted living. So we had to, me and my co-partner, went over there to help my mom and my aunts move some of the stuff out the house. And me and my co-partner was together for a long time. So he saw, some of the things my uncle would do, just like come in and ask for a plate or whatever. So as we cleaning his stuff out, the co-partner was like, man, your uncle had them hoes. Your uncle had them hoes. Your uncle had them hoes. And I looked at him and I was like, well, what was they at when he wanted a plate? Why they didn't fix him no plate? Why they didn't feed him where he was at? Why he didn't eat? He had him like, he was eating where we was eating at, and we didn't have them hoes. And I also said, well, you know what? Where them hoes at now? Because I'm cleaning the shit out and you cleaning the shit out. Same person who used to have to fix the plates. You know what I'm saying? But I say all of this to say, I think I don't know too many men that do it. I do know that the co-parent does it and his father does it. But in kind of fairness, you know, I confuse my own children. And I don't even believe their names, like, because to be honest, I can run it all together and make them think I'm calling that one, and then it get to the point where they just be like, one of y'all go over there and see who she calling, and then it end up being the very one that didn't call, but you came, so you know, let me come on over here, and then we got to the point now, you know, everybody got the phones. I could just text you and be like, come here. I ain't even got the yell, and I know when you're ready, I know where your location is, so just come here. And matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you in the text what I want, and bring me something to drink out the refrigerator. Go pick your sister up. You know, just a little something, just a little, you know. But so I wonder, like, is it something that we do after a certain age? I know, you know, you get the perimenopause and stuff like that. But and I do have the habit now, even though I hated it when my aunt did it to me. I have the habit now to be like, look, girl, come here. You little girl, come here. You little girl, do this. Look, you girl. I remember my oldest daughter, she had just turned 18. I was like, you still have to listen to what your mama say, little girl. And she was like, I'm a grown woman. I said, oh, say what now? Say it one more time for me. She said, I'm a grown woman. I said, you say, I think my phone was going out. I want to hear you say you was doing what now? She said, I'm a grown woman. She said it 3 times. You hear me? Not once, not twice, but 3 times to confirm me. They say what they come in threes. So if by the 3rd time, if she had to maybe backtrack it by number 3 and she only said it twice, she might not have been sure. I swear, at least 3 times a month, she takes that back where she be like, Mama, I ain't mean to say that. Mama, why did I say that? Why did I say? Why do I want to be grown so bad? And I was like, well, you know what? Ask and you shall receive. So now you grown with responsibilities, and you didn't have them responsibilities when I was telling you just chill out, be cool. When now you got real responsibilities, and time went by. I felt like one day you was climbing trees or blowing bubbles or something like that, and now you stressed out about a bill. And it happens overnight because you want to be grown so bad. I seen somebody on here with a compound. I think it said 62 or 67 acres, 23 families, and 3 clubs. And I was like, that's the type of thing that I would have loved to have growing up. I think that is the most beautiful thing to me, all of that family and all that community. And then another video, the girl broke it down where it was like countless cousins. We wasn't as fortunate enough to have like cousins by the dozens. You could feel a little party room with the amount, you know, because my granny was the only child. She only had 6 children. And so it wasn't a great big old family. But my daddy's side, it was like 13 of them. And so there's countless great and then my kids on their other side, she had 16, I think it was. So when my oldest kid was born, she was the 87th great grandchild. And so now those I can see to a extent, not knowing all of their names, because I didn't even learn them, you know, on the other side. Somehow I always had to ask them, who is that one? And what's this one? Because, you know, sometimes some people, you can't remember them, and you shouldn't have to. So, there is some people that they can't even confuse my kids. They can only call them by the dad's name as his children, okay? And so they'll be lucky to get a wave. But I would love to go back to that little girl that all I just needed was my diaper changed. And if I had just came on over there, I would have got my diaper changed. She probably would have fixed me something to eat, gave me a bath, set me in front of the TV and chilled out with it. You know what I'm saying? But what I was trying to be, I was trying to be grown one time. She called me, I was trying to be grown. And I was just 2 or 1. I don't know. But I tell you what, the next time somebody call me and just be like, come here, let me do this for you, he ain't gonna have to do nothing but whisper. If he think it, I'm over there. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna have to call my aunt because her aunt, I haven't talked to her in a while, and I could use a conversation because I love going down memory lane. I was talking to somebody on TikTok yesterday about talking to your elders. And the stuff that they remember that's just like randomly is their core memories, but it's my history. Okay? Catch that, baby. Catch it.